restrictions in the state could force up to 40% of restaurants to shutter within a year without a financial lifeline. The most recent COVID rules restrict capacity in restaurants to 30%. The regulations were issued as Delaware experiences its highest rate of new daily cases and hospitalizations from COVID. The Delaware Restaurant Association says restaurants are being unfairly scapegoated for that surge.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include AT&T, committed to keeping students and teachers connected. AT&T has connected over 200 million students with tools and technology for distance learning. More at att.com/remote learning.
This is All Things NPR News. I'm Elsa Chang in Los Angeles.
And I'm Ari Shapiro in Washington. Remember how hard it was to get coronavirus tests back in the spring? There were shortages of swabs and vials and long delays to get results. Well, distributing a coronavirus vaccine could make that process look easier. It has to be kept super cold. People need 2 doses weeks apart, and each state and territory is responsible for distributing it to millions of citizens, a process that could start this month. Claire Hannon is Executive Director of the Association of Immunization Managers. Welcome to All Things Considered.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, a big challenge ahead. I know that you are regularly speaking with state immunization managers all over the country, the people who are planning the vaccination programs. What are the biggest questions that they have right now?
Well, as you mentioned, there are no shortage of challenges. I think the big question that program managers have is exactly how much vaccine am I going to get? They know how much they're going to get of the Pfizer vaccine, first one out of the chute, but after that, it's just estimates. And so, they're saying to each other, is this estimate good? Is it real?
And it's not just a flat number that they're looking for. It's like a pace. How many doses will they get every week or every 2 weeks? And will that number increase quickly or at all?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. So with the Moderna vaccine, they got an estimate, and then they got an estimate for week 2 that was much lower. So they're not sure. Is it going to continue to be lower? Is it going to go back up? Is it going to be weekly? Am I going to get monthly allocation? Also, programs talking with each other about how they're prioritizing that first batch of Pfizer vaccine. There's right now a large group in phase 1A, so states have to decide how to parcel out between healthcare workers and whether to start their long-term care facility program and how to provide guidance on how vaccines in that healthcare worker.
Ultimately, the difference is here just a matter of preference and values, or this state is doing it this way because they're more rural, or that state is doing it that way because they have more of a
I think it's flexible at this point because there are vaccines and reaching high communities because it compensates for everything via the ultra cold. Where the long-term care facility program is a partnership between CVS and Walgreens and the federal government, and they are able to use the Pfizer vaccine to do that. It is logistical and it's also mathematical. They have to factor in what their allocation is and what their allocation is going to be, because in order for them to flip the switch on their long-term care facility program, they have to have enough allocation in one brand or the other.
And that goes back to the challenge of not knowing what the numbers are going to be.
Exactly. They're looking at their estimates, they're kind of planning it out. It's kind of a chess game, making moves, 6 moves in advance to get where they need to be.
Let's talk about the cost of this, because last week I spoke with Pennsylvania's Health Secretary, Dr. Rachel Levine, and she said this.
Only $340 million has been allocated for the next part of the mission, the distribution and the administration. So clearly, states and territories and cities are going to need more funding